All right, y'all. Hey, let's clap it up, man. Shalom, y'all. About to be out Shabbat and pass on the brother. Shalom, y'all. Shalom, y'all. Should be out shout out the sisters. Shalom, this is the I.S.U.P.K out of 125th Hall of New York under command of General YAHANNA. Man, it was such a glorious time. You know, we had a glorious time. Purim yesterday, you know what I'm saying? Celebrate Purim. Yeah, we had a glorious time yesterday. You know, today is the closing. You know, we was gonna go ahead and close out the feast, man. You know, I seen there all the glorious pictures all over the nation, brothers and sisters, celebrating such a absolutely amazing time in Israel. Something to definitely never forget and remember what that sister Esther and Mordecai did for the people. You know what I'm saying? Did for our people, and how they showed so much courage and strength, and how they put today's leaders, so-called leaders, to shame. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely put to shame that sister. Really showed what it means to be virtuous, a virtuous sister, but you know, show righteousness, and you know, she did an amazing thing. You know what I'm saying? And sisters can learn a lot from that sister. If you haven't had a chance to check out that story, definitely go read the story of Esther. And you won't be disappointed. You need some strength to know how amazing our sisters is, because hands down, Israel got the best sisters on the planet. Black, Hispanic, so-called Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians are the coldest sisters in the earth. Right? So, you know, so definitely go read it. So we're gonna just get into the end of it. You know, you can go to We're gonna be reading out of Esther chapter 9. All right. Shalom. The Kai take care of that one. Okay, yeah. Turn down. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna finish it out. This is the close. It's a 2-day celebration. All right, we're gonna close and get ready to close it out. So we're gonna read into the last order. You know what I mean? If you don't know, like I said, the sister Esther did something absolutely amazing. You know what I'm saying? She was responsible, like if it was today. What you call it? Police reform. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got brothers out of prison. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who did anything evil to Israel, they got put to death. And all they funds was taking any money that was made off of, like she did, you know, like I guess you would call it reparations. Like she got reparations for the people that brothers and sisters out of prison. You know what I'm saying? That was just a glorious time. All right.
Esther, chapter 9.
Share the class, man. Go ahead and share the class, so the people can get this information. Also, go ahead and throw your phone like I talked about. Throw your phone on vibrate or whatever. But yeah, share the class. Oh, and before I forget, pay your tithes. You'll never want to forget that, man. Send me and go to I.S.U.P.K.com and hit that donate button to support this truth. All right, y'all know we all through the earth, all over the earth, putting in his work, doing his work, man. So support this truth, all right? You know what I'm saying? We go everywhere. We on the front lines. We feeding, clothing, and housing brothers and sisters all through the earth. So support this truth. Like you support the Arabs and the Chinese people in their nail salons. And yeah, you support all of them. And just support this truth. All right? Like you supported the weed man all these years, or the dope man. Support this truth, man. You know, just send them funds in so we can continue to do this work at a great, even greater level. All right? Also, if you got any questions, you can go ahead and type them in as well. Any questions you may have, type them in on the Facebook. We're streaming on YouTube as well. You can go ahead and type them in. So I can type in your questions. All right. Go ahead, bro. Let's get there. So, like I said, just a quick recap. Mordecai, the sister Esther, followed orders from the man above her. She didn't try to be an independent woman and all this because he told her to, go in there, get chummy, get cool with the king, get that position, and use your power to help your people. You know what I'm saying? Use your power to help your people, all right? And that's what she did. She was absolutely amazing with doing it as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we celebrate Purim. That's why we remember this day, because that sister did something that brothers and sisters ask for every day. Brothers help get brothers out of prison, get paid, like I said, reparations, get brothers out of prison, and judgment for the people who have harmed us. You know what I'm saying? Oppress us. So, never forget that story. Your wives, you definitely want to have your wives to read that story to show them, how you're supposed to conduct yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can be powerful, you can be a man, but you also can follow the head of your household. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta be no independent woman, you know what I'm saying, to do great things for your people. You can still be in order. And that's what that sister showed. So let's get Esther chapter 9, we start at the first one.
Okay, cool. Esther chapter 9, verse 1. Now in the 12th month, that is the month Adar, on the 13th day of the same, when the king's commandment and his decree drew near to be put in execution, in the day that the enemies of the Jews hoped to have power over them, though it was turned to the contrary, that the Jews had ruled over them that hated them. Verse 2, and the Jews gathered themselves together in their cities throughout all the province of the king of Cyrus to lay hand on such as sought their hurt.
Right. Again, it was payback time. You know what I'm saying? They got free, and it was all anybody who did it. Maybe think about old boy from Paid in Full. Murder shit. Anybody who owes me money looked at me wrong, it's fucking dead. That's what made me think my brother was hot. He went out there and thought all manner of evil. You know what I'm saying? All manner of judgment to the people who sought to hurt us. All right, it was absolutely amazing and glorious, man. So I can't wait to see that again. It's coming real soon, man, Lord willing. I can't wait to see it.
So you remember from
Go ahead.
Okay, so Adwan was talking about, giving he was giving the sister Esther a lot of praise as far as her what she was doing as far as pertaining to Israel. Any scripture that talks about women as far as their position. We got one like Proverbs 9:13, which talks about a foolish woman, a certain type of woman, right? As far as how she conducts herself. Got the one in Ecclesiasticus, that speaks about a shameless woman is look like a dog, you know what I mean? But as far as this one right here, Proverbs 14:14, it says, every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. Proverbs 14:14, every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands.
Right. Who destroyed their own house.
Right. And the reason why I brought this out is because of Esther's obedience. The same thing with Ruth. It did a lot of great things for Israel. So if a woman okay, a woman is very powerful. She can destroy things. She can, to the point where it backfired on the heathens. The heathens set out a decree against us to kill us. Right. You know what I'm saying? Imagine a decree being a executive order, which I talked about yesterday. You know what I mean? But in this case, like, she did some very powerful just by listening to a man, which was her uncle, and fearing the Most High. She saved all of our people.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's really a great example for sisters that have husbands in the truth or outside of the truth. You know what I mean? You want to be obedient to the lawful things, not the wrong things. You know what I mean? And as men, we know, we go the extra mile either to sin or do a great thing for a woman, just for a woman. You know what I mean? It's like you said, you told a story a while ago. You asked some Israel women in the world, it's like, why do niggas get high for women with her? You know what I mean? Like, how did you get this woman? Hey man, one day, I just started doing this and started doing that, and now I ended up with her. You see what I'm saying? It's like, but like this right here is a story where, like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to sin just to be with a woman, and a woman doesn't have to sell herself short to be famous and be glorious or virtuous. You know what I mean? So I just want to bring that precept out. You know what I mean? So,
and just that story that he was saying, it was like when I had talked to a brother. I had talked to some things, and just asked him, like, what turned you? You know what I'm saying? What was the thing that made you want that? Most of them always say, like, most of them had the same story. They was doing it for a woman, like a woman was a woman that they wanted to cope, and she was doing it, so they did it with her. You know what I'm saying? That's they did it for the women. A lot of them say that. You know what I'm saying? Even Bobby Brown was saying that, like, everybody was coming to him, like, y'all coming at me. Like, I, got her struggle. She had more, but she didn't want. You know what I'm saying? Got me. You know what I'm saying? Going like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what he was bringing. Like, y'all act like I turned her out. You know what I'm saying? She turned me out. Kind of what Bobby Brown was saying. But like at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? This sister is absolutely glorious, man. I think it's a coincidence, an absolute coincidence. I don't know. Because that in the world they celebrate International Women's Day today.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Although they did it on purpose, but what to have that day on the same day time that we are remembering Purim, which is the story of Esther, this amazing sister in Israel, and Mordecai, of course, because Mordecai was the one who she followed the orders. You know what I'm saying? Even though she was scared and terrified and everything, she still followed the orders. He told Israel when she went to do it. Fast and pray for me, because I might lose my life for this today. But when the Lord is with you, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to fear anything. You ain't got to be worried about nothing. You know what I'm saying? This is all this coronavirus. How people scared to death. You know what I'm saying? If the Lord with you, you will be all right, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I didn't. The Lord has showed me His mercy on too many occasions. So if it's my time to go, it's just that time. You know what I'm saying? That's just it. You survive some of the things a lot of us in Israel have survived. If it's your time to go, it's just your time. You know what I'm saying? This is the Lord ready for you to go. Only way you should be scared is if you're not serving the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Then you can be scared. All right, go ahead. What you going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, I advise everybody to read additions to Esther, which is in the Apocrypha. Right, it gets in more detail as far as the book of Esther in the Old Testament. Okay, all right.
I can't believe I lost my pocket.
Esther chapter 9.
I can't believe I lost my pocket. I gotta get another.
You do okay. No, it's only $11 on Amazon. You need to read some help. I got you. Okay. Esther chapter 9, verse 2. And the Jews gathered themselves together in the cities throughout all the province of the king Azarus, to lay hand on such as sought their hurt. The provinces and the lieutenants and the deputies and officers of the king helped the Jews, because the fear of Mordecai fell upon them. Verse 4. For Mordecai was great in the king's house, and his fame went out throughout all the province and this man Mordecai waxed greater and greater.
Right.
Yo, I love this man. It's like I love this man.
Right. She went in there, told that kid, like, you like me, how you want me? You know what I'm saying? You think I'm so amazing? And make my brother a lieutenant over this army, killing everybody. I want all my people free. I want money back. A matter of fact, I want this dude who you gave all that power to. I want you to kill him, your man, right here. I want you to go ahead and kill him real quick. Like she used her power for her people in a cold-blooded way, man. This is a cold-blooded sister right here. Keep on.
Yeah, go.
The people who look at it there and they see queen, that was the heathen's custom. She was queen under Cyrus, who was Xerxes back then, who was a heathen. All right?
Come. Verse 4, for Mordecai was great in the king's house, and his fame went out throughout all the provinces, for this man Mordecai waxed greater and greater. Verse 5, thus the Jews smote all their enemies with the stroke of the sword, and slaughtered and destruction, and did what they would unto those that hate them. Verse 6, and in Susan, the palace the Jews slew and destroyed 500 men. Verse 7, in Harshandatha, and Dalpon, and Astha, and Kotha, and Adalah, and Aratha, and Pramasta, and Arasai, and Aradai, and that's Thea. Verse 10, the 10 sons of Haman, the son of Himatha, and the enemy of the Jews slew them. Slew they. But of the spoil laid they not their hand. Verse 11, on that day the number of those that were slain in Susan the palace was brought before the king. Verse 12, and the king said unto Esther, the queen, the Jews.
That's called blood. That's how you know it wasn't even about the money, it was about business. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even about the money, it was just about justice.
Yeah.
Like, we ain't come here to go out and all we want you to be, you know, that money can't bring back my people who be murdered and all that. You know what I'm saying? This is satisfaction enough to get justice for what y'all have done. Go ahead.
The Jews have slain and destroyed 500 men in Susan, the palace, and the 10 sons of Haman. What have they done in the rest of the king's provinces? Now what is thy petition, and it shall be granted thee? Or what is thy request further, and it shall be done? Verse 13, then said Esther, if it please the king, let it be granted to the Jews which are in Susan to do tomorrow. Also according unto this day's decree, and let Haman's 10 sons be hanged upon the gallows. Verse 14, and the king commanded it so to be done. And the decree was given as Susan, and they hanged Haman's 10 sons. Woo. Verse 15, for the
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to pay, that's gonna be a glorious time. Once they pay for what they have done. They hung him and his 10 sons. They hung him on the machine that he made to hang Mordecai.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, as a matter of fact, use that machine to hang him. Right.
Verse 16, but the other Jews that were in the king's provinces gathered themselves together and stood for their lives, and had rest from their enemies, and slew of their foes 70 and 5,000, but they laid not their hands on the prey. Wow. Verse 17, damn. On the 13th day of the month, Adar, and on the 14th day of the same blessed day, and made it a day of feasting and gladness.
Which verse is it?
This is verse 17 right now.
Okay.
I'm going to try to skip it. Nope. Now it's verse 18. Verse 18. But the Jews that were at Susan assembled together the 15th day thereof, and on the 14th thereof, and on the 15th day of the same they rested, and made it a day of feasting and gladness. Verse 19. Therefore, the Jews of the villages that dwelt in the unwell towns made the 14th day of the month Adar, a day of gladness and feasting, and a good day, and a sending portion one to another. Verse 20. And Mordecai wrote these things and sent letters unto all the Jews that were in all the provinces of the king, Azarias, both nigh and far. Verse 21. To establish this. Verse 21, to establish this among them that they should keep the 14th day of the month, Adar, and the 15th day of the same year.
So the 14th and the 15th, that's why we do. Yeah, 14th and the 15th, you know, that's why I have 2 days, like a celebration of remembrance of, like I said, that's something to remember, that's something to behold. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying, your people was wiped out, genocide. The sister and the brother put a plan, a master plan put together, and you know, it was flipped around. You know, the script was flipped. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Like as far as what he said, as soon as he said, remember, you know, like you know, the days, like pretty much like back then. And plus, by the way, this is like a few hundred years before Christ, by the way. So I want to get a precept as far as Moses. Deuteronomy 32 and 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee. And the reason why I want to bring this up, because as soon as he said that, that's what I was thinking about. Like we have to consider, like, this is a tradition. And the fact that like this was laid out for us, like this is a blueprint as far as, you know, our culture. Once again, they always say that we ain't got a culture. Remember on Tuesday, we was going through Black History Month, and Carter G. Woodson, he had said that the natives don't have no history. Right. Now, it's very important to have records and have history, but what he did not know is that the white man destroyed our records. Right. And there are books like the Russian icons, Lost Tribes of the Promised Lands, the 13th Tribe, that gives bare record that they destroyed our records. Right. You know what I mean? So the whole point of this saying is like, we have to remember our history. And always in the Bible, it says that you have to remember this. Remember, like Christ said, I give you a new commandment. It really wasn't a new commandment. It was always there, but everybody forgot it. Right. And that's why he always say, remember the Passover, remember Purim, the Feast of Dedication, because that's very important. We are going to forget. So everybody's looking for a history, they look for a culture, it's right here. Right. You can't find it in Africa, you can't find it in Christianity or Islam. Right. You find it right here. So that's my whole point.
In the scripture, it's twofold.
Oh, damn right.
The good times and the things that we did, but remember what these heathens remember our brothers that have done us right now. 400 years ago, slavery, never forget. They try to tell us to forget, but they never forget. You know what I'm saying? They 9/11s and the thing that happened there. They searching down killing them people right now. So like, you know what I'm saying? They searching down 90-year-old Germans right now. You know what I'm saying? For what they done to their people. So they don't never forget. So like we don't never forget. You know what I'm saying? We don't. You know, I will never forget the fact that they used our children as alligator bait. Right. I will never forget.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Literally, like, that's terrible, man. You know what I'm saying? I would never forget what they done to Emmett Till. You know what I'm saying? Their images, like, you know what I'm saying? And they got our brother penises floating in pickle jars in the window of their restaurants. You know what I'm saying? What?
Yeah, another one is too. It was a game. It's called it's called Kill the Nigger Baby. Meaning they cut our woman's bellies, and the baby will fall out, and they will stuck on the baby. Because it was like a carnival fest.
Yeah, it got like the pinata. Like,
yes, exactly.
You know what you call it? Yeah, the pinata.
Yeah.
Knock the candy out. Yeah. So never forget, man. Yeah. Because they will pay for that. They will pay them. They will pay with blood. Lots and lots of it. Right. Blood, sweat, and tears. Keep on.
Yeah, come. Verse 22. And as the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, and the month which was turned unto them from sorrow to joy, and from mourning into a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portions one to another, and gifts to the poor. Verse 23. And the Jews undertook to do as they had begun, and as Mordecai had written unto them. Verse 24. Because Haman, the son of Hammedatha, and Agagite, whatever, the enemy of all the Jews, had devised against the Jews to destroy them, and had cast pur, that is the lot to consume them and to destroy them. Verse 25. But when Esther came before the king, he commanded by letters that his wicked device which he devised against the Jews should return upon his own head.
Like Esther came back and told, like, dude, hey, that's on me, that's on me. You know, don't do nothing to them folks. He trying to get this Israelite system. He doing everything he can to get
it. And that he and his sons should be hanged on the gallows. Verse 26. Wherefore they call these days Purim. Wherefore they call these days Purim, after the name of Pur. Therefore, for all the words of this letter and of that which they had seen concerning this matter, and which had come unto them. Verse 27. The Jews ordained and took upon them and upon their seed and upon all such as join themselves unto them, so as it is, so as it should not fail, that they would keep these 2 days according to their writing, and according to their appointed time every year. Verse 28. And that these days should be remembered and kept throughout every generation, every family, every province, every city, and that these days of Purim should not fail from among the Jews, nor the memorial of them perish from their seed. Verse 28, verse 29. And Esther, the queen, the daughter of Abihail, and Mordecai, the Jew, wrote with all authority to confirm this second letter of Purim, verse 30. And he's verse 31. To confirm these days of Purim in their times appointed according as Mordecai, the Jew, and Esther, the queen, had enjoined them.
I think that's, we can wrap it up as far as that. Then we pretty much got.
Yeah, someone a little bit more. Oh, you sure? Okay. And as they had decreed for themselves and for their seed, the matters of the fasting and their cry. Verse 32. And the decree of Esther confirmed these matters of Purim, and it was written in the book. Yeah, right. Chapter 10, verse 1. And the king of Cyrus laid a tribute upon the land and upon the islands of the sea. Verse 2. And all the acts of his power and of his might, and the declaration of the greatness of Mordecai, whereunto the king advanced him, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings, and of Mordecai in Persia? Medea in Persia. Verse 3, last verse. For Mordecai the Jew was next unto the king of Cyrus, and great among the Jews, and accepted of the multitude of his brethren, seeking the wealth of his people, and speaking peace to all his seed.
Give him a hand, man. We will never forget. We will absolutely never forget. You know what I'm saying? That or what's to come, and that's why we continue to do it. Those kind of stories should give you motivation to know that, you know what I'm saying, the things that we talk about and say that the Lord is going to do for us. You know, he's done it, he will do it again. But before we go, I want to get a couple of scriptures real quick. Go to Ezekiel. One of y'all soldiers there, Ezekiel 33.
Ezekiel what?
Ezekiel 33.
Oh, that's a good chapter.
So because we have such a big task, and because time is so short, and because you know, we need to be on point. Go to verse 6. You got it? Yeah, that verse 6 real quick. Time is, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got time to be playing with people. You ain't got time to be you know what I'm saying, lax and things like that in this work. You know what I'm saying, or with brothers, when you see brothers and sisters. But let's get go ahead.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 33, verse 6. But if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet.
The watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet. You see your brothers and sisters out here jammed up. You see things going on that's not right, and you don't, you know what I'm saying, say nothing about it. You don't step up and say, hey, we trying to get out of this hell thing. You doing to hold up back. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get things popping like Esther Mordecai got it back in that time. You know what I'm saying? If you see things going wrong, you see, you know, your brother, your sister doing things that's not of the Lord, and that can potentially hurt them or in the school or their family, anything. Read that again.
But if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity. But his blood I will require at the watchman's hand. But his blood will I require at the watchman's hand.
Brothers who you saying sin and doing wrong and all of that, yeah, they sitting and doing wrong. If you ain't telling them about it, the sisters doing wrong, you know what they doing, you know what I'm saying, devising wicked things in the dark, you know what I'm saying, and in secret, and you don't say nothing, you don't speak up on it, yeah, they gonna die. But their blood is on your hands, you know what I'm saying? And the Lord gonna make you pay for that. Keep going. Go ahead.
Yes, so like I had a precept for your precept. Okay, and also to that scripture that he pulled is a brotherhood scripture as well. Because I actually used that for a class like 2 months ago. You know what I mean? And that's a very good one. That's a very great example. Also, by the way, so like, if it's not the whole book of Ezekiel, 33 to 35, it's the best shot. Like really for real, like for real. But Ecclesiastes 4 and 9, 2 are better than one. It's alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. And the reason why I brought this out is because Adawan said, you know, like everything he's saying is just, it's really brother and sister, you know what I mean? And the thing is, if you're not there for your brothers and sisters, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like you are irrelevant. You see what I'm saying? If you see somebody going through something and you don't say nothing, what are you doing? You're just gonna allow the sin, you're gonna allow them to struggle. See what I'm saying? If you know that their car broke down and you driving past them, it's like, what are you doing? Give them a lift. You know, help them out. You know what I mean? What are you doing? So, you know, it says that 2 are better than 1. Meaning, like, if you don't have nobody to, you know, support you or help you, because, like, you know, the whole game where if you fall back, it's like a trust game. If you fall back, I pick you up, I grab you. Right. See what I'm saying? If there's no one behind you, how do you have somebody to, you know, help you and support you? Right. 2 are better than 1. See what I'm saying? Now, here comes the whole pride thing, right? Pride comes in when someone is just on their own and they want to do their own thing. If you lean on to your own understanding as far as anything, you're going to fall. Pride comes before what? Destruction. You see what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen. You're going to fall into your own casket, your own pit. Right. You know what I mean? So I just want to read it one more time for understanding. Ecclesiastes 4 and 9. 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for the labor. Now we also know too that if two or more are gathered together, the Most High is in the midst. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, camp. Camp is a great example. It's only one person at camp, like, who is going to protect that person? The speaker or the reader. That's why we have Shamar. And we are a whole shield together. See what I'm saying? Without brotherhood, you have nothing. Go ahead.
That's right. So, and when you want Shamar, if somebody get past you and hurt the brother, that blood is on your hands. You wasn't exactly out. That's how it's back into this scripture.
Yeah. So, you know, on Shamar, like, someone is on the right side and on the left side. Someone is in the middle and someone's either in the back of the camp. We have to be one body. See what I'm saying? If we're not one body, what the hell are we? You know what I mean? If I have an arm missing, I'm lacking something. See what I'm saying? So if one person's not at camp that really needs to be there, if 2 people or 3 people ain't at a camp, like, like we are more vulnerable to be hurt. See what I'm saying? So 2 are better than 1. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I need you just like you need me. See what I'm saying? That's how we stick together. That's what the whole thing about the unit cohesion. I was talking about Valentine's Day, being a bond. You see what I'm saying? Being a unity. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we need each other.
That's right.
So and if you think otherwise, you are mistaken, sadly. And you will find out. I mean, I just want to say that's life.
Keep going on that scripture.
Verse 7. So thou, son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel.
What?
Set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel.
That's what our job is. So we will be watching over the people, over our children, over our brothers, over our sisters, and watching for evil, watching for the things that can get us jammed up and get us from getting the kingdom of heaven. You know what I'm saying? The things that are slow to process up. You know what I'm saying? We gotta watch these things, not just things and then also watch for the things that can speed the process up. You see brothers who, you know what I'm saying, just need a little push or need something like, or need a little encouragement and things like that. Sisters need a little encouragement, or you got plant them seeds in them. Like, hey, so, you got these connections. Let's do this. This can help the school. You know what I'm saying? We do this. Let's do that. I got this connection and that connection. You know what I'm saying? Treat this like your baby. Like this is like you said, this is our school, and we want to make it great. We want to be the best. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Come on. Therefore, thou shalt hear the word at my mouth, and know them from me.
Right. We teaching the people about what the Lord said. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, you will be put to death if you don't stop doing this and this and that. You can live forever if you do this and this and that. You know what I'm saying? Keep the law, statutes, and commandments, you live. If you don't keep them, you die. Period. Point blank. Go ahead.
Verse 8. When I said to the wicked, O wicked man, thou shalt surely die. Thou dost not warn the wicked from his way. The wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood I will require at thine hand.
The blood is on your hand. You see people doing wicked, your brother doing wicked, and you don't say nothing to them. Like, all you can do, you can warn them. Like, hey, that's going to get you put to death, man. Don't do that. Then they put to death doing that. You've been warned. Keep going.
Verse 9. Nevertheless,
if you don't do that, like the people said, their blood is going to be on your hand. You got to pay for their death. It's like you killed them. Right? Keep going.
Nevertheless, if thou warn the wicked of his way to turn from it, if he do not turn from his way, he shall die in his iniquity. But thou hast delivered thy soul.
See what I'm saying? That's how you make sure you are blameless. The scripture says you want to be blameless. That's how you make sure you be blameless, by you warning the wicked. Like I said, they don't turn away from it. That's on them. You gave them the truth. You gave them the way out. Like the scripture said, the Lord always gives you a way out. You came across their path, you see them doing something wicked, you let them know, like, hey man, Salaki ain't trying to get in your thing, but that might get you jammed up real bad, but I think you might not want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But if you encouraging it, like, oh, y'all can sell some dope, man, you got to do it like this, brother. You know what I'm saying? This is how you get all the money. You got to chop it up like this. You're like, come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't teach them, you know what I'm saying, how to be wicked at the same time. You shouldn't do it. If you're going to do it, this is the right way to do it. Like, come on, man. That's terrible. You know what I'm saying? Hey, there ain't no right way to do that. Every way you chop it is going to be wrong. It's going to bring you to death either way. One might be fast or slow. People, go ahead.
So do we use discernment, like we got slavery or something, and it's a brother or sister that has slavery, and they might be doing something like how do you finesse it the proper way to like warn somebody about some shit that may cause them sloppy, but do it in the right way.
Right, and the general have about slavery is a little funny because you know what I'm saying, you're there to do a job. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you can talk to them after slavery, hit them up, say, hey, give me a call, man. I want you, hey man, hey, give me a call because I want to talk with you about something, what you think about something after work. You know what I'm saying? I want to show you something. And just show them something. Tell me what you think about this.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of do it like that, like on the job. Don't do it on dinner. That's everybody said so you doing this on the job. You know what I'm saying? Y'all wait, man. We hollered after work. I just asked him his opinion. I showed him something, asked him his opinion. You know what I'm saying? I let him know this is what I think, what you think about it. I think. I'm saying, let me read something. What you think about this scripture? What you think this means? And I think this means you should be doing. The reason I showed you, I see you doing something. Hey, you did it. I see you doing something today. And I want you to show you this just in case. It can help you or not. You can take it or you don't. Because the Lord put it in my spirit, you know what I'm saying, to holler at you about this. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, so like I want to add on to what I want to say because like I see stuff where like it's like should I step in, should I not? Because I see something that's wrong with some person. And you know I'm very social, so I know pretty much everybody at the job, including the team leaders. You know what I mean? And like this is one girl that that I know from the job or whatever like that. You know I'm very close to her. And I went to the state fair and everything. Where like like she always telling me like every week that she's dealing with a problem or whatever like that. And so like at the job, I explained to her the consequences of the things that's going on in her life without applying the scriptures because I'm at the job. But it's a way to do it without talking about the Bible, right? Mm-hmm. And so I tell her like the things that can happen. And the thing that's so funny is like she knows, but she doesn't really care, and she just kind of confused and trying to figure it all out. It's like, look, man, like you could have died at that moment. You know what I mean? Like I try to tell her, like I try to get into a raw, like this could happen, that could happen. You want to be very careful. You know what I mean? But like you want to be cool and calm. Stop being so loud. You know what I mean? Stop doing drugs, stop getting high, stop doing this and doing that. You know what I mean? Because this is how your life can end as an end result. See what I'm saying? So it's a way to do it without talking about the Bible, but outside the word, like I don't want to say, like, hey, if you want to highlight me later, I got you. Hey, if you want to grab your social media or your phone number, I got you. I'll talk to you afterwards.
All right, keep going.
So like you want verse 6?
Yeah.
Therefore, O thou son of man, speak unto the house of Israel. Thus ye speak, saying, if our transgressions and our sins be upon us, and we find a way in them, how shall we then live?
How should we live? We trying to get up out of here. We trying to live. Like if we just wallowing in sin and sinning every day, all day, how we gonna live? How we gonna become a nation? How we gonna become a people? How we gonna get out the hell that we in, man? If you keep sinning every day, can you stop? Can you, bro? It's insane.
Right.
It's the definition of insanity. You doing the same thing, a generation after generation after generation. Yeah. Your mama, your grandmama, your granddaddy did, your great aunties, uncles, everybody did. You doing the same thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Try something different. Keep going.
Verse 11, saith to them, as I live, saith the Lord God, I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked.
Read that again.
I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked.
You got no pleasure in the death of the wicked, but you won't stop being wicked. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like these oppressors, they have to die because they won't stop killing them. They're like a cancer in the earth. You know what I'm saying? They're like a parasite. They're blood-sucking leeches, like they won't stop sucking you dry. They won't. So they have to be destroyed. They have to be wiped out. It's like in game when you gotta chop off the arm for the body to live. You gotta come in, you can try to say dumb and it's gonna grow and then you'll wind up taking over and losing everything. Or you can lose the arm and survive live. These people gotta be taken out and wiped out. They pollute the water, the air, everything is all wrong, upside down. You know what I'm saying? We don't, the Lord, I don't got no pleasure in destroying the wicked, but they leave you no choice. Right. You know what I'm saying? They can't live in harmony with the earth, with nobody in the earth. It's been proven over all these years. Keep going.
I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked, but that the wicked turn from his way and live.
Right. Like, yeah, you just, like the Lord people live, you know what I'm saying? Put them back in their rightful place in the earth. Open up them, you gotta give us our records from back, all the stuff you got hidden under them caves and the Vaticans, and we disgusting people, and they are cancers, parasites, a virus, a disease in the earth. Okay? Keep going.
Turn ye from your evil ways.
Turn ye, like, you know what I'm saying? Brothers been begging up for centuries. So stop, please stop, please don't do it, please stop. You got it all. You have consumed the whole earth. You got it. It's overkill at this point. You know what I'm saying? You can shoot somebody in the head one time, and now you want to shoot them 5 more times in the face and the leg and the arm, cut their tongue out, set them on fire, throw them in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you won. You got it all. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
For why will ye die, O house of Israel?
Right. So why would you die, O house of Israel? You know what I'm saying? And so, you can read the last one. I mean, we'll finish with this scripture right here. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 12. Therefore, thou son of man, say unto the children of thy people, that the righteousness of the righteous shall not deliver him in the day of his transgression.
Right. I don't care how righteous you is. That day that you fall off and you slip up and sin, and that sin can cost you your life. It could. Now, righteousness ain't gonna stop you from, you know what I'm saying? And that day when you get jammed up and you know what I'm saying, you sleep with that whore. Or you know, man, you gonna do another line. You gonna smoke some old crack. It might be the last crack you smoke. You know what I'm saying? It might be over with for you. Keep going.
As for the wickedness of the wicked, he shall not fall thereby in the day that he turneth from his wickedness.
Same thing goes for them. If they done being wicked, they turn from being wicked, it's over with. You can save your life in the day of judgment. Like you know what I'm saying, man, you just stopped yesterday. Like and the most I do, like man, you gave it up, you've been clean for 2-3 days. And the Lord, you came to the truth 2-3 days. And then Christ come back like, boy, it was gonna be tight on you. You know what I'm saying? You just made it. You know what I'm saying? You got lucky. Well, I said, you know what I'm saying? The Lord has shown you mercy. He's giving you mercy. That's, you know, that's the plan that the Most High got for you. I brought that out because we gotta be mindful of each other and the people in our lives to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, we're not letting, you know what I'm saying, people, you know what I'm saying, fall victim, you know, think demons is okay to have and become, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta check people and you gotta help brothers, you gotta help sisters. You got correction and love. You know what I'm saying? You corrected somebody, showing them love. You not correcting them, is giving them the death sentence. And they blood on your hands. So with that, I'm gonna say Shalom, Yahweh Shini, Yahweh Shabbat, Rakatha to all the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shabbat, Yahweh Shini, Yahweh Shabbat, all the sisters. Any questions? Passover. Make sure y'all get out to the big Passover, man. Be glorious. You ain't gonna want to miss it. I'm telling you right now, you ain't gonna want to miss the Passover. April 9th in New York. Get your tickets now. They got the coronavirus discount on the tickets. Get your tickets now. All right, go ahead and get your tickets, and so you can, you know what I'm saying, come experience, you know, the little piece of the kingdom of heaven. You know what I'm saying? Just experience this little piece that we are rehearsing and practicing the rites of action. It's something to behold. It's something that you'll never forget. It's an amazing experience, and I recommend that everybody experience this in their life. You know what I'm saying? You just do it and get it. All right. So that's April 9th. If you want to send anything to donate to the I.S.U.P.K Minnesota, check out our Cash App, $.SKYPE Minnesota. You can donate to help us out and help us push this truth. You know what I'm saying? Definitely go donate to that site if you want to send some to the whole school. Go to I.S.U.P.K.com and hit that donate button and help us to push this truth, man. With that, I'm going to pass the class over to Chuba Yakai.
I'm having to do the security announcement.
We are I.S.U.P.K. 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Room for the new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves to the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which a brother and sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the heads to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18-21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10, mean a tenth and a heap. Ma'ashara, 10th of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give it to the treasury department or teacher. The priest fund, which is a free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. The upcoming holy convocations, just the Passover, right? Passover on April 9th. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boot, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.